Welcome to Ash Wednesday. I'm excited and delighted that you chose to sign up for this Lenten series from noon to 3 p.m. As we all know, those were the sacred hours that Jesus hung on the cross. And for us, we spend this Lenten season again on a journey towards that Holy Week, towards the cross, towards the ultimate gift that Jesus gave to us. I'm Father David Colhour. I'm the Passionist Provincial of Holy Cross Province. It's a joy for me to welcome you, that we can be journeying together this Lenten season. You know, behind me are some sacred doors. Like all church doors, they take us from wherever our regular life is, and we cross that threshold through the doorway, and we enter sacred space. It doesn't matter whether the church is big or small, what neighborhood the church is in. What matters is, as you enter sacred space. In a way, Lent is a little bit like that. We don't enter sacred space. We don't go through a door. But we mark ourselves with ashes, because instead of it being a sacred space, it's a sacred time. Have you ever noticed Ash Wednesday isn't on a regular day every year? It changes every year. In some ways, it's kind of disruptive, because you can't really predict and plan your life around it. It's meant to be disruptive. It disrupts ordinary time. And it does so because there's no such thing as a safe and a predictable kind of a Lent. I love that saying in the 12-step world of insanity. Insanity, of course, is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result. In some ways, if I keep doing everything the same every single Lent, maybe I'm favoring my insanity. Lent is supposed to be disruptive. We interrupt ordinary time because Lent says we prepare ourselves for a long journey. Paul of the Cross used to say, if you're going to enter Lent, know your destination. That's why he put the solemn commemoration of the Passion on the Friday before Lent even begins. That makes a lot of sense. Lent is a journey that leads us to the cross. We need to follow that journey. That is our Lenten experience. It's also impressive that Lent is not a personal project. It's not something that an individual does on his or her own terms. Lent is something that is done for all of us. It doesn't matter whether you're rich or you're poor. It doesn't matter what conditions you live in. Everybody, you don't even have to be Catholic. Everybody can receive ashes. Because it's a season that says, I need to be more honest in my life. I need to trust God more. I need to let go of those things that continue to bog me down. Lent is a time of transformation, and it's a time of conversion. Lent begins not by asking ourselves, what are we going to give up? Lent begins when we start saying, I'm going to start being honest. And I can't help but think, with the chaos and the divisions our world are in today, I think, don't you think, all of us need a little bit more honesty? Ash Wednesday then confronts the temptations that we'd like to divide the world into, well, I'm right and they're wrong, or I'm worthy and they're unworthy. The cross is traced on all of our foreheads. The cross doesn't authorize judgment or condemnation. It calls us to repentance. It calls us to patience and compassion. So if you're asking yourself, what can I expect as I reflect on from noon to 3 p.m.? Well, each week we'll introduce a new theme, a new topic. The themes and the topics are based on our tradition. Things like prayer, fasting, almsgiving, discipleship, community, suffering, love. How do they impact the early Christian community? How do they still speak to us today? And we do so by developing this theme over the week. Sometimes it's through personal reflections or stories. Sometimes it's through prayer. Sometimes it's just your own personal ponderings. And then for those who wish, on Saturdays, there'll be a time for Zoom gathering. If you want to share faith, to experience other people who are also making this 40-day retreat. If Lent is real, it must soften the hard spots that are within us. The ashes ask whether we will use this season to deepen our divisions or to learn again how to walk together as people who, all of us, depend upon God's grace. I wish you a blessed journey. I'm looking forward to journeying with you as we move somehow in the mystery of Christ a few steps closer to the cross. God bless you.